Alright boys, what's happening? We're back with another F1 2022 My Team episode. I always get confused with the years, I'm not used to saying 22. But yeah, we are back today with the Austrian Grand Prix. We're currently sitting in P6, I think, in the driver standings. So not a bad showing from us obviously so far. We've had some P6s in there, the P3 in Canada. And today we have Austria. Can we keep our momentum going into Austria? Last year, one of my favourite circuits to drive. Austria, like, it felt like a roller coaster ride. Like the downforce on the cars through the third sector of this track just really made it feel like a roller coaster. You were on rails through it. One of my favourites to drive last year. But let's see, can we continue that momentum into this season right here on the new game with a new car? We've just picked up an upgrade in the aerodynamic department, which means we can now do 2 upgrades at once rather than just one, which is massive, of course, because we are focusing on the aero and the chassis departments for our R&D development. But anyway, let's get into quali. Now, let me give you the little track guide as we do in these qualifying sessions around Austria. Obviously, it's getting a nice entry onto the push lap is very key, very important, hitting the DRS as early as possible. As we head up into turn 1, and I say up because it is uphill, you want to ride the AstroTurf and brake just after the 100 metre board into 4th gear there. We go a bit wide on the exit, cost us a few tenths there. We just completely flat out through here. Obviously, it changes elevation a lot in Austria. You know, we're braking uphill again, braking just before the 100 metre gear down to 2nd gear for this right-hand hairpin. Careful on the exit there, it can get a bit slippy, and if you bump that curb, you can easily spin. Now we're going downhill braking. We're going to ride the AstroTurf again and brake just at the 100 metre board down to 3rd gear. You can stay in 4th. We go a bit short there. You can use a bit more of the exit curb there. Just before the grass, ride the AstroTurf down to 5th gear for this left-hander, early on the throttle, as early as possible, braking just after the curb ends, down to 5th gear again, and you want to be completely on the throttle for the apex of that next corner there, and you can see that is where we made up our time in the delta. We were actually red in the first 2 sectors, but now this one's just all about feel, really. The turning point, braking point, 7th gear, down to 5th or 4th for the last turn. Watch out for track limits on the last turn, and we crossed the line with a time of 104.3, definite time to make up in there. But that was the best we did get in this session. I believe we forgot to show the setup again, so if you want to see the setup, let me know in the comments and I'll show it to you. We actually go out in Q1, we start P17, just miss out on Q2 by a few hundredths there, so it's very disappointing. But we're going to start P17 on the grid. Dan Tickton, our teammate in P19, and yeah, we've got the race coming up next. Yuki Tsunoda is our rival, for anyone wondering. We are 25 to 24 against Yuki in our rivalry, so let's see who is going to win this in the next 2 races. Our team are claimed there nicely towards that level 10, but let's get into the race.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Anthony Davidson, what types of strategy do you think we can expect for today's event?
Well, there's a lot that both the driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery systems, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Leclerc. Gasly, Norris, they've taken a grid penalty. Vettel and Lance Stroll. Sainz, Giovinazzi. Yuki Tsunoda. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. The owner driver, Raikkonen, Ocon, Daniel Ticktum, and Fernando Alonso. Russell, Latifi, Mazepin, they've taken a grid penalty, and Mick Schumacher. And with preparations almost complete, Let's head down to the track.
Okay then, boys, let's get into the race. This is our strategy on the screen. We're going with the two-stopper. We're going to go with a bit of a bizarre one. We're going soft, medium, soft. Maybe we'll get a safety car in this race as well, which will mess up the strategy, but who knows. We do normally plan for a safety car. We do tend to get a safety car pretty much every race on this game. But yeah, anyway, let's wait for the lights here in the Styrian Hills in Austria. It's 5 red lights and it's lights out and away we go. Now, do we get off to a good start? You can see us go around the outside there of Giovinazzi. He tries to push us it wide into the wall. Lance Stroll comes across the cover us and we're going to fully send it into turn 1 and we bump Leclerc coming over the curb of turn 1. We don't take any damage. Very luckily, we're up into P9. What an absolute dive bomb that was. Absolute kamikaze dive. Fully sent it as always into turn 1. And now we do have Leclerc in front of us and Lando Norris with his McLaren as Lance Stroll tries to send one up the inside. The absolute lunatic. I don't know what he was thinking there, riding the curb, but somehow gets a better exit than us down this straight here. And Lance Stroll does overtake us, going up the inside like he did in Hungary this weekend, just gone, or two weekends ago, I should say now. And he took out Leclerc when he tried to do that, so it's lucky that he didn't take out us. And Vettel tries to send one around the outside there, but Yuki Tsunoda makes the pass on Vettel as he did try to send one around the outside. Now, the drivers in real life love to send it around the outside there. We saw Sergio Perez and Leclerc battling this year in Austria around that turn there. But obviously Vettel has lost out a place to Tsunoda, and now he's battling with Sainz as well. So we're up into the point, P10. A very good position to be in at the very start of the race, but we do have Yuki Tsunoda behind us and he is closer to us than we are close to Lance Stroll in front of us. So we're just hoping use this battery power down the home straight, trying to keep up with Lance Stroll in that Aston Martin, who seems to be rapid this race. Hopefully we can stay with him until we get the RS. And here's a replay of the start. We just dive bomb, completely full send it down the inside of the two Aston Martins there, and yeah, just absolutely catch them sleeping. You know we do full send it on every opportunity, and we were very lucky not to take damage there, I can't lie. I thought we should have took damage probably. We bumped the front nose, but it is what it is. We'll take it, no damage at all. And then obviously we don't have to take a wing change in the pit stop, which would have completely ruined the race if it isn't already ruined by the title. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda now sending one up the inside of this fast right-hander. Very dangerous corner to try and overtake someone up the inside on. But Yuki's done it and he's passed us and he's just flying ahead. Like I sort of backed out there because I was like, whoa, like why is he going up the inside? You know, ever since seeing Hamilton and Verstappen at Copse Corner this year in Silverstone, like when is a flat out right and somebody tries to take me up the inside, bro, I'm just scared. Like after seeing that incident in Copse this year, like it is just like I just back out, bro. I don't want to be the one to end up in the wall, or be the one to get clipped and take wing damage, you know. So yeah, so Tsunoda passes us there and we're out of the points, P11 now, but still a good position. You know, we were P16 on the grid, were we? So yeah, we're still ahead of where we were on the grid, which is always a good sign, you know, when you start higher up than you started the race. And as we come around the corner there, oh my god, we've had a snap of oversteer there. I don't know if we took contact from Sebastian Vettel, but we've had a massive snap of oversteer there. I don't even know if we did get spun there or if that was just me early on the throttle. And so, Carlos Sainz absolutely defending the front lines for his life. He should get signed up to the Spanish Armada because he is absolutely defended for his life there. Did you see that? Massive move from Sainz there. But we obviously lost 2 places through that corner there. And I really don't know if Vettel hit us or if it was just me too early on the throttle. But anyway, lap 7 now. We are still behind Carlos Sainz. We have the 2 Alfa Romeo cars behind us as we again come through technically turn 3. And oh no, we've spun again, boys. We've spun again on turn 3. We've rode the curb a bit too much and we've just lost so many places there. We're now behind our teammate Dan Tickton. We're almost at the back of the grid. George Russell now in front of us. Just the 2 Haas cars behind us. We were in such a good position and we've absolutely bottled it, boys. We're down into P20 and we're going to try and send one up the inside of Russell, but it's not going to work. We couldn't get there in time. We've got the 2 Haas cars behind us. If we get overtook by them, it's an absolute stinker. So can we make the move on George Russell? We seem to be a lot faster on Russell through here. We actually bump him there, make some contact from behind because he is so slow. So can we take him up the inside of the fast right-hander coming up? And oh my god, boys, I've spun it. I have absolutely dropped the car and spun it. And we smashed into the wall there. We don't lose our tyre, but that is going to be serious damage to the spoiler of the car. That is going to be serious damage to the rear end of the car. That is not what you want to see, boys. I was eyeing up the move on George Russell and just completely dropped it on the curb.
Watch the rear wing. You've taken some slight damage.
And you see Jeff there just letting us know that we have took damage to the rear wing. Obviously nothing they can do, nothing the team can do. They can't fix the rear wing in the box like the front wing. They can't just put a new one on. So we're just going to have to deal with that damage for the rest of the race. And it's only lap 7 that we've done the damage on, boys, of 36. So our rear downforce for the rest of the race was just non-existent pretty much. But yeah, what an absolutely stupid play from us. Now this is our push lap, or our in lap I should say, so we need to push. We're going to overtake Nikita Mazepin in the pits. George Russell stays ahead of us though, but what an absolute stinker that was. Just way too early on the throttle while we were riding that curb. Well, not even too early on the throttle, because you should be flat out over that curb. But it was just a steering input and maybe a bit of turbulence off the back of Russell's car. I just tried to eye up the move, open the gap a little, and just completely dropped the car. And now Nikita Mazepin, I don't know who he thinks he is. Look at that, he's made contact with us, Nikita Mazepin. Like, absolute rapey warrior. Like, what does he think he's doing? We've made contact again. Like, he's an absolute lunatic. We're battling here for P21 and P22, and you think he's going for the championship, boys. He's made contact with us twice there. We don't take any damage from it, but we probably should have. Again, the damage model on this game is a bit inconsistent, I'd say. But yeah, anyway, we come round and into the pits now. Let's see, can we have a good pit stop? That is one of the slowest pit stops I've ever seen. 3.1 seconds. There was no urgency there to get my tyres off and get the new ones on at all. Somebody does need to get sacked in that pit crew, because I'm just not having it. It's absolutely atrocious, boys. But yeah, anyway, we come out to the pits, obviously still in P22. We've got a lot of cars in front of us. I think that's Hamilton, Bottas, and maybe Verstappen, or maybe Verstappen's behind us still. But now Pierre Gasly is out of the session, boys. Now, here's where the next howler comes. So on these races, boys, if you're a fan of the series, you'll know I use a lot of different camera angles and stuff to show you the race, to make it look more like a TV show, you know what I mean, a bigger spectacle. But sometimes to do that, I jeopardize my own race, and that's why I need flashbacks on to be able to go back. Like, sometimes I'll get a camera angle, but it'll completely ruin my race, so I'll have to rewind it so I can go back to racing once I've got the camera angle, boys. And you'll see right here, we're coming up to where Pierre Gasly's car is, because Gasly is now out of the session. We switch the camera angle to the side to look at Gasly's car, switch back to us, and we're about to go flying off the track here, boys. But flashbacks are disabled. Now, if you didn't know, there's a glitch in this game. If you play co-op career mode with somebody, obviously flashbacks don't exist on co-op career mode, you can't do them. But the glitch is, when you return to your normal single-player career modes, flashbacks are turned off even if you have them on normally on your career mode. So obviously I've been playing co-op career mode with one of my mates, came back to my single-player career mode, and flashbacks are turned off. So when we tried to get the camera angle there for Gasly's car and completely missed our braking points and went flying off the circuit, we couldn't then rewind it. So we've been lapped by a few cars now, seeing blue flags, and now we're battling Sergio Perez, and we're actually faster than Sergio Perez. He's on soft tyres, we're on mediums. They are fresher mediums probably than his older softs, but like, we've just overtook a car that lapped us. Now, it's a very unfortunate race because we had a great start, 2 mistakes, spun at the same corner twice, and then it just completely ruined our race, and then we've gone off the track there as well, which again has just completely ruined us. Like, Nikita Mazepin, the next person in front of us, 26 seconds ahead. He's a whole pit stop ahead of us. Like, it's actually embarrassing. And now we have blue flags, obviously, for Sergio Perez, but we are faster than Perez, so it's going to jeopardise my race even more to slow down here on this straight and let Perez overtake, because the last thing I want to do in this howler of a situation is get a time penalty. You know, you get a time penalty if you ignore blue flags for 5 corners, I think it is. It might even be 3. So, yeah, but then we get DRS down the straight again. We're using the battery, and we're going to go around the outside of Sergio Perez as we head into this corner. And Perez has bumped us wide into the gravel almost, just like what he did to Charles Leclerc this year in Austria. Very reminiscent of that, but we actually come out ahead of Sergio Perez there. And now Lewis Hamilton is out of the session, and we see a yellow flag at the final corner of the circuit. So let's check out what's happened to me. And oh my God, Lewis Hamilton has just flew completely straight into the Aston Martin there of, I believe, Sebastian Vettel or Lance Stroll. I'm not sure who that was, but Lewis has just went completely into him. Let's see. It will be Sebastian Vettel. You can see his helmet there. Now, this is an absolute howler from the AI, boys. Let's see this again from the television camera. Hamilton has just completely smashed into Vettel there and lost his front wing entirely. What an absolutely crazy incident to happen in the race. And then he tries to come back on, misses the pit lane, obviously Hamilton. So he just retires, boys. He just retires the car. Now, the reason why that's happened right there is another glitch in this game. The AI are so stupid. They're programmed to follow the racing line. Obviously, you can see the racing line on my screen on corners only. The AI are programmed to follow the racing line and nothing else. They have no brain, yeah? So, in Austria, the racing line and the pit entry line are the same line. So you'll have cars going flat out through that right-hander, and look at that, a 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flags. We're faster. Blue flags is only if you're like impeding the car behind you by going so slow, but we're actually faster than these cars. So I don't know why we're getting a penalty there. It's a joke. And we run wide on that corner there, miss our braking points, and I believe we might pick up another penalty there. 3-second time penalty for corner cut and exceeding track limits. It's a howler, boys. But anyway, like I was saying, in Austria, that right-hander is 7th gear flat out, but if you're pitting, you're going down to like 3rd or 4th gear and braking on the same line. So Hamilton's AI is programmed to go flat out in 7th round that corner, while Vettel is right there. And Vettel's slowing down to come into the pits, as you saw. So Hamilton's completely just gone flat out into him, lost his front wing. Lucky there wasn't like a massive crash, you know. I don't think Vettel took any damage from that as well. I'm surprised both cars didn't spin out and maybe even lose a tyre, which would have helped us with a safety car, you know. But anyway, we've done our second stop of the race there, and we come out and we're getting lapped by Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen has lapped us. That is absolutely embarrassing. If we get lapped by a Has this race as well, that would be just like the cherry on the cake for most embarrassing moments of the whole series, probably, of this career mode, of all 10 seasons that you're going to see on this YouTube. We have the two Alphas in front of us. Now, our car, I think, is actually better than the Alfa Romeos, so we're going to be faster, and I full send it down the inside of Raikkonen because there's no rules. We don't care. We don't care if we're lapped. I'm getting unlapped, you know what I mean? Like, I'm fully sending it. We obviously took the 5-second penalty for the blue flags in the pits. I'm not sure why you can't do the track limit penalties as well. I would have just took the 8 seconds in the pits. I wouldn't have minded that, because then if there's a safety car, you know, then you can pit behind a safety car and lose your seconds. But for some reason, if you get a 3-second penalty, they don't let you take it in the pits. It just gets added onto your time at the end of the race, which is a bit bizarre. But it's always down this corner. You see, we get blue flags again, but we're not, like, faster cars are not approaching because we're the fastest car here. We've overtook Giovinazzi again, so if they give us another penalty, I'm just not going to be happy. You know, there's a lot of mechanics on this game, boys, that you would have seen already showcased in this series, in the few episodes we've done. There's a lot of mechanics that seem broken with this game. Another one, like I mentioned, with safety car. If a safety car did come out here, in real life, when the safety car's out, they let cars at the back who have been lapped unlap themselves before the safety car goes in. But that is not a feature on this game. So even if the safety car came out, there would be absolutely no chance for us because we can't unlap ourselves, which is, you know, a very unfortunate mechanic to not have in the game. Red flags as well aren't in the game. You know, there can never be a massive incident that causes a red flag, which I understand for the flow of the game and stuff, and people might get annoyed at that, but I would like that, you know, to have red flags in here. But anyway, speaking of safety cars, the virtual safety car is now out, and I do believe it might get upgraded here to a full safety car. But anyway, let's check out the race incidents and let's see what's happened. So Sergio Perez and George Russell have made contact. So let's go and see what's happened there. And we're on board with Mick Schumacher. That is down turn 1. Now, Sergio Perez is completely spun around. Sergio Perez was in P2 and his car was completely spun around. So I didn't actually get a replay of what happened there. But I believe George Russell, who's obviously P18, must have been getting lapped by Sergio Perez through turn 1. And Russell's just clipped him and completely spun him. So yeah, that's a massive incident, and it's probably going to allow whoever's in P1 to run away with the race, which is probably going to be Valtteri Bottas, because as you have seen, Bottas is outrageously overpowered. I don't get why he's so good. Now, they did just release a driver patch, which I have applied to all existing career modes, so it's a good job that they've got that thing. We've overtook Mick Schumacher, by the way. I completely missed that. I don't know how, but we've got a 3-second penalty, so can we keep 3 seconds ahead of him? Hopefully we can, you know. But anyway, yeah, like I'm saying, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, checkered flag out now. Valtteri Bottas, that's what I was saying. Yeah, there's a new patch out that's supposed to improve, you know, the driver performance to be a bit more realistic, like real life. So I'm expecting Lando Norris to be like overpowered now. The McLaren is already overpowered on this game as well. You'll see once we get to the later seasons of this career mode, McLarens just go ridiculously overpowered. And yeah, I'm expecting Bottas to stink, because Bottas stinks in real life, so I don't know why he's better than the 8-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, you know. Like, anyway, speaking of Lando, driver of the day, shout out to Lando. You'll see our face on there one day, I'm sure of it. Driver of the day is our goal for this series, you know. We don't care about the drivers championship, we just want to get driver of the day. You know, is that too much to ask? But anyway, Yeah, Valtteri Bottas takes the win there, and it's Max Verstappen in P2 and Daniel Ricciardo on P3. So that spin from George Russell has cost Sergio Perez a podium. So obviously Christian Horner is not going to be very happy about that one, but you still see Max's golden child on obviously the podium there. The same cinematic from last year. Whoever comes P3 on the podium doesn't even get involved in the celebrations, bro. You can't even see him. Like, poor Daniel Ricciardo. He's probably doing a shoey by himself off camera with Martin Brundle, you know. But anyway, P15, Dan Ticktum comes, our teammate, and P19, we come. Obviously, at the end, we managed to stay ahead of Mick Schumacher, even with the 3-second time penalty. I actually don't know how we did that to Schumacher. Schumacher had 3 pit stops, so I don't know what the hell Schumacher did. Or maybe he was involved in that collision with Russell and Perez, and maybe he took damage in that and had to box for a new wing, because obviously we spectated Schumacher and he was right there when Perez spun. There is our rivalry again. We're tied. It's going to come down to the last race, which is Silverstone, to end our rivalry with Yuki Tsunoda and see who wins that one. But we have got a failed upgrade here in the chassis department. Another bug with this game. At least I think it's a bug, or I'm just very unlucky. This had a 30% chance of failure, and it failed. Now, when I do the quick practice stuff, and there's like 50% chance of failing, 70% chance of being successful, 50% chance of being successful, 70% chance of being successful. It fails all the time, boys, and I don't know why I'm so unlucky on this game. You see us there though, we do a few upgrades in that. We've changed our engine components as well. Our engine was getting very worn out. But yeah, we've got a little event here again. Now we can either choose to increase his awareness or increase his racecraft. You saw the options on the screen there. We went with the racecraft over awareness. Don't really care too much about Dan Ticktum. We're going to replace him probably at the end of this season. And yeah, there's a few people I do want to look at trying to get signed to the team, you know, and if we can get them signed to the team, it would be very nice. I'll probably talk about that in the next video, who I'd want as our teammates going forward in this career mode. But we have 1.6 mil in the bank. I do believe we go ahead and pick up a durability upgrade, or maybe it's not in this video. It doesn't look like it's going to be in this video. Next race, we've got our home race for our driver and our team at Silverstone Circuit in Great Britain, of course. Stay tuned for that episode. It will be coming very soon. That is going to be it though. If you did enjoy, like, comment, share and subscribe. You know the vibes, and I will catch you next time. Take it easy.